All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to go ahead and do a quick presentation on the cyber kill chain. Okay, so this was inspired by Lockheed Martin. When it comes to the cyber kill chain, there is technically 7 different steps. I honestly feel like this is geared towards what would be red team, actually going ahead and hacking. Though some people would say, hey, you can use the cyber kill chain to go ahead and cross-reference some of the material that a blue team would go. So you can put speed bumps, you can go ahead and put hurdles, you can go ahead and put fences around what exactly a hacker's trying to do. Nonetheless, at the end of the day, this is a critical framework, especially if you're new to cybersecurity and you're like, hey, what do I do again? This kind of goes ahead and gives you that North Star. It lets you know, hey, this is what we're going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cool thing about this presentation with regards to the cyber kill chain is that I went ahead and sprinkled in some of the Kali Linux tools that more than likely you would see in the future. So let's go through this really quick. Reconnaissance, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, actions on objectives. I'm sure you guys can go ahead and create your own little what I forget what they call it when you go ahead and spell something out. I'm sure you guys can make your own. Right now, I haven't made my own. I'll let you know once I do. But just realize that there's 7 steps: reconnaissance, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, actions on objectives. So let's go through those really quick. So reconnaissance is basically your information gathering. Okay. Nonetheless, it can be something as simple as, hey, give me a name, number, and an email, to something as complex as I want to know all their systems. I want to know how many Windows systems, how many Mac systems, how many Linux systems. Let's go ahead and figure out what software they're running, what version of the software they're running. I also want to go ahead and figure out their switches, their routers, their firewalls, their intrusion prevention systems, if any, their intrusion detection systems, if any. Let's try to figure out what DNS they're using. Let's go ahead and get as many emails as we can. Let's go ahead. So it can become laborsome. It can also go ahead and become kind of fun. It's just like, hey, you're literally mapping out everything that they have, all of their systems. And now with that information, you can figure out, hey, I know that this software has this vulnerability, so on and so forth. Okay, some of the tools, as you guys can see, it can be really extensive or it can be really simple. It just depends on the situation, depends on the mission, depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Some of the Kali Linux tools is whois, masscan, rustscan, recon-ng, nslookup/dig, the harvester. I really like the harvester, especially if you're trying to get some free emails, depending on your situation or whatever you'd like. But nonetheless, the harvester, nmap, shodan. Let's go on to the next one: weaponization. Okay, what weapon are you going to use? Remember, in this day and age, the software is the weapon and the weapon is the software. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and pick a particular software. You might create your own software. You might have a cookie cutter software. You might have a cookie cutter software with some sprinkled in the software that you wrote on your own. But just realize that the weaponization, okay, is the software. The software is the weaponization. Kali Linux tools that can help you with this might be MSF Venom, might be Searchboy, might be custom Python. When I mean custom Python, I literally mean you getting good at Python and being able to go ahead and develop your own software that would be whatever you like, to go ahead, and it can be some type of malware, it can be some type of, at the end of the day, the possibilities are endless because it's just a matter of your imagination with regards to software, especially nowadays because our hardware is getting better. But nonetheless, you can have something as simple as a bash. A bash, just think of it as an automation tool. Okay, that's something that can run automatic in the background. Nonetheless, let's go on to the next thing, which is the delivery. Okay, which way are you going to go ahead and deliver it? All right, this was step 3, delivery. Are you going to do it via email? Are you going to go ahead and do a website? Are you going to go ahead and do it text? How are you going to go ahead and introduce the link? Are you going to start throwing out USBs out in the parking lot, hoping that a person will go ahead and plug it into their network? Okay. The website one was a pretty cool one because if you can go ahead and make a dummy website and then somehow get into their system so you can have their DNS actually go ahead and um, basically point back to your dummy website, then that could be a way, that can be a delivery method. So the delivery is how exactly are you going to go about it, right? If you're going from Alaska to Miami, which routes are you taking? Which states are you going to go through? Okay, so the delivery. Next one is exploitation. Exploitation is different from vulnerability in the fact that exploitation actually needs an action. So for example, most of our cars have windows, right? A part of a vulnerability of a window is that it's easily breakable with a rock. Okay, that's a vulnerability vulnerability that exists, okay, the exploitation would actually be taking a rock and breaking the window. So exploitation needs some type of action, which means that you're actually going to go ahead and break in. Okay, that means that you are literally in their system. That means that they went ahead and clicked on the link that you sent. So some of the Kali Linux tools that can help you with that, the biggest one is going to be the Metasploit. That seems something like we're going to have to get good at. MSF console, that's another good. I think that might be part of Metasploit nonetheless. But Metasploit seems to be what would go ahead and have the good stuff, so to speak. Installation, right? You don't want to continuously send email in order for you to have access or control of a system. You want to go ahead and install a backdoor, right? Yeah, you want to go ahead and install a backdoor, and you're going to want to do that via Metasploit backdoor. Remember how we talked about Python, how you can write your own code. It doesn't have to be Python. It can be C++. It can be Java. It can be JavaScript. Bash is another one. And then malware is just that catch-all phrase where it's just kind of software that can be potentially harmful to that individual system. But nonetheless, you're going to want to have some type of installation of a backdoor. Let's go on to the next one. And I believe this is number 6, which is command and control. All right. The whole purpose of you going ahead and installing the backdoor is to have some type of connection, right? What good is malware, or what good is a virus, or what good is hacking someone if you only have access to with them at a certain point, or they have to do a certain thing? You want to have that command and control where you can maintain connection. Okay. That means that if their system is on, that means that you're aware of what their system is doing. You're aware of that, what that individual is doing. You're aware of what exactly is going on within that system. Obviously, you'll have some logs and whatnot, but the idea of having your opportunity to command and control, okay, consistent, maintain, consistent. Consistently maintaining that connection with that system or with that target. Kali Linux tools, Metasploit, as you can see, that comes up a lot. SSH is a big one. Netcat seems to be one of the favorite tools as well. Let's go to the last one, actions on objectives. Okay, you made it this far, you have to have some type of action, right? And it's kind of funny that they didn't put this at the beginning, but nonetheless, the actions on objectives is accomplishing the goal. So you want to accomplish the goal. That can be something, and most of the time, guys, 98% of the time, it's going to come down to data exfiltration. Okay, you're gonna want to have to see, hey, what's their secret recipe? Hey, what are their numbers looking like? Hey, and the application of this can go as high as a military application, and it can go into what would be Fortune 500 application. It can go down to as silly as, hey, I just want to see what message they sent. It just really depends on what your goal is, but most of it is going to be some type of data exfiltration, some type of data manipulation. Obviously, you're going to want to have privilege escalation, just depending on who your target is. If that target goes ahead and has a link or some type of bridge to a higher target or a higher worth value target in the eyes of the mission, then of course, but nonetheless, going ahead and making sure that you accomplish the goal, and it just really depends on what that goal is. Nonetheless, some of the tools are Metasploit, Mimikatz, SCP/SFTP, and once again, this was the presentation for Cyber Kill Chain. This is more so for what would be red team, though some blue teams say, hey, we can use this with regards to finding out how to put some speed bumps, hurdles, some walls, so we can go ahead and decrease the opportunity for bad actors to hack us, so to speak. So just remember those 7 steps: reconnaissance, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, and actions on objectives. Okay, if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, ideally we want to go ahead and see some of these tools in action. But nonetheless, that's a story for a different day. Just remember, when it comes to Cyber Kill Chain, you have 7 steps: reconnaissance, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, actions on objectives. With that being said, guys, I'll see you guys on the next one.